Welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 10. Just a reminder, if you're listening on the radio, go on to youtube.com. Go on to PixelJunkies.ca. You can find all our videos there. You get the full, sort of uncensored version of the ad-free version of the podcast. Also, you can go into iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes because we are now there. And, so this is episode 10. And, I'm Rory DC. Who's with me?
I'm Jordan the Marvel Coker.
I'm Aaron.
Adam the Porridge Knight.
And
I'm Andrew.
You gotta do a little watch flip first.
Who's that?
Andrew, he flips his watch a little bit. He's like, sorry, what? That's my Andrew impersonation.
What?
Sorry, what?
It's a video.
That
is an old reference.
So this is our 10th episode.
And we said we were going to do something special.
And that something special turned out to be...
Andrew going out for birthday supper and Adam writing his theses.
Yeah.
Happy belated from us here at Pixel Junkies to Andrew.
Our lesser member.
Yeah.
Our lesser member.
No, happy
basically
birthday,
the
dude.
pinky of the group. If you lost your pinky, you'd still be okay. I'm just joking. Andrew's a cool guy.
It's been 8 seconds without a watch flip. Hang on.
Yeah.
That's
what the sound of a watch makes.
Yeah, so, this is a kind of a messed up episode, I think, because that camera's probably going to die at any moment. And we're down to 3 men, so...
Yeah. But we all get our own camera and our own microphone.
We do.
Once.
That's kind of a special...
That is beneficial.
So the sound mixing on this episode should be of a really high caliber, so
wow,
keep an ear out there for that, people.
You're setting yourself up there for disaster.
Yeah, I'm building it up.
Yeah. The computer starts smoking. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah. I actually had a TV go up and smoke on me. Like, It was, like, to say this was an old TV really doesn't say it. Like you know how, like, back in the day, there weren't a lot of channels?
Yeah.
Well, this TV was so confident that there, A, weren't a lot of channels, and B, would never be any more channels, that you didn't have a channel up and down button. You just had 20 buttons for all the different channels.
Man, if there's ever more than 8 channels, we're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrible. Like, you think, I don't know.
It's got to be one of the biggest, technology underestimates in history.
Looks like something interesting on Channel 9. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You think back in the day, maybe you had to, really work to get those first, 20 spots? Like, if you were Channel 22, no one was going to watch you.
Yeah.
So you'd have to, do you think that maybe there was, some bribing going on? And so
I think, originally, there probably wasn't enough people who could afford television.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's a big thing, too.
And there was even fewer people who could afford to have television stations.
So then you had, classists, right? And then they're all like, oh, man, well, I'm only going to watch these vaudeville shows and all that stuff. And, specific...
Well, there used to be people who that had the channel would be on for 24 hours. And then during, the night, one guy would be in charge of, the night show. So it's this guy had to do, 12 hours of content just by himself.
That's crazy.
Every night.
Every night. And it's I don't know how many people are watching, probably 6. But it's still people are tuning into this new television thing. And you gotta entertain people the whole night. I can't.
That guy, I hope they've paid that guy a lot of money.
You know what, though?
What?
He had a lot of stuff he could do.
Did he?
When you really think about it, nothing had ever been on television before. He could have done anything.
Yeah, but I mean,
but he would have to come up with all the ideas, right? Like it's easy for us to go now and be like, I would have, invented this type of TV. But
come up with the idea for a television show right now.
I don't know, man.
It's not easy, is it?
No.
But guess what? If you were the first one to do it, you could literally make it about anything.
But you wouldn't have no point of reference to start with. You know what I mean?
Fine.
You wouldn't know what there was no genres
but Jordan,
of TV.
What Rory is saying is that this was an unknown media. It had no format. It had no precursor. It's all right, now we have video entertainment. How can I, entertain these people? Do I read a book?
Yeah, he didn't really have that much thinking. He couldn't play a music video.
I'm gonna write the show Lost.
There's only so much you could actually play. I guess
fair enough.
Pretty much just probably one dude. Can we get a clip sometime? We should sit down and try to see if we can find one of these old nighttime shows. I don't know how they would have recorded that.
Oh man, if you could get those on demand now or something, just sit down and watch all of them. Man, this was terrible.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Overnight Show with Johnny Lee Parsons. Well,
I'm still riding my unicycle.
There's another night here. I was spending my day learning to juggle.
I imagine you just like, like what's the guy on How I Met Your Mother do? Sandy Rivers? He just reads the newspaper?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Entertaining.
He's something like that, I guess, yeah.
That's the first hour. What do you do after that?
Well, my favorite quote ever about television was like, dude, no one's going to stare at a plywood box for hours on end. Like, that's what they used to say about television. They're like, no way are people just going to sit around and stare at a box.
Turns out he was right, because they're not made out of plywood anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not wrong.
It just, like, amazes me. Like, that's such a narrow perception of entertainment. Like, no one's going to... It's like, dude, the box is playing things. Like, did they properly explain to that guy what a television was?
And it's funny because, like,
show.
The radio was around.
Yeah. So now it's like you're putting visual to something that was really entertaining beforehand. Like, like radio before.
Cough.
What?
Nothing.
What's wrong with radio?
We're certainly not a radio show that is now in video format.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so nothing has changed in the past 50
the interesting
years.
thing about it, too, is, like, a TV, like... This is perhaps kind of odd to say, since we are airing on the radio, but like a TV, it does all the same functions a radio does. Yeah. Like, you just don't... If you don't look at it, it's the same thing.
Right now, you can listen to your radio on television.
Kind of. I think television has really captivated, like, the silence in motion picture.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's just some things that you can't convey in a book, or you can't convey through radio, or,
Well, look at
any other medium.
Did you know you can listen?
Exactly.
You can listen to us on your PlayStation. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's
well. Do you
via
mean YouTube?
No. Like you can listen with like the radio app on PlayStation.
Oh.
You can listen.
Okay,
you can just tune in to
Cool.
Pixel Junkies on the radio, which I think is really awesome.
Another
actually.
reason to use PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it work on Xbox?
I don't know. I've only done it on PlayStation 3. Like it probably works on PS4 too, but I haven't tried it there yet.
Cool.
Worth
checking
well,
out.
you can probably use YouTube or the browser on Xbox.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Microsoft's killing killing Internet Explorer.
Finally.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah, it is about time.
I don't think they said they're... it's kind of mixed up in the article I read. I think they said that it's going to... Its current version is going to be removed. But I don't know if, like, there's another part in the article that says, like, they're getting rid of it, they're killing it. So I don't know if that means they're, like, going to rebrand it and come out with something new.
I hope they don't.
I know they're working on another browser called Project Spartan right now, which needs to be renamed.
Yeah.
But,
that's a terrible name. It's like that's like something going to charge through the gates. Like, you know what I mean?
They're going to rename it.
It's just a browser.
The thing of it is, like, I think, like I've always believed this, I think, with certain services, like, I love competition. Competition is what part of what can make you good, right? Yep. But to a certain extent, also, if someone is doing something like, perfectly, like you don't necessarily like. I think Steam is effectively about as good as it could be. Like we could argue that maybe it could be a little stricter with its with its indie games that it puts on there, a little more quality.
Especially
control.
Now these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The there's definitely
some turd on there.
Exactly. Yeah, but like all in all, like that's why it blows my mind that people are coming out like Uplay. I'm just like, guys, we already got a service. Like clearly, this is the most convenient thing for the customer.
And all this, so like,
yeah,
there's no point. Get rid of it. Like, like all those guys. I don't know. And what disappoints me is that they make it like proprietary to the game that you bought belonged to them. So if you bought Battlefield, you need to have an Origin account. And you're like, man, I had a Steam account. Like, why do I need 60 accounts for everything now? Like, do it once. Get together, band together, do it once. Split the profits. Like, come on.
I mean, and Steam is such a good service as well. And also, I mean, like, like the world has voted. Like Steam wins. Yeah. Like it's over. Like there's no contest anymore. Steam has won. I still think Netflix still hasn't won their contest, which is why we have things like Crunchyroll for anime fans, and there's other things. There's other markets that Netflix hasn't gotten to yet.
But they're top notch.
They're the best at what they do. I think. Yeah. Certainly.
Yeah, but I think that's one of those things that like you can't really win, I think.
Yeah, one's
similar to like
it
TV
depends.
Channels.
Like when Netflix buys all of them out and has all of their content and licenses.
If that happens,
I don't see why it wouldn't.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, that would be great, but I don't think
Steam was originally conceived as like an online platform to launch Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
And then it was Valve games.
Yeah.
And then in like the period of 2 or 3 years, it blew up into every single game
Except
for
for
PC.
Battlefield.
Well, even Battlefield's on Steam. It's only like...
Why do you need an Origin account?
Well, it was only a few years into when Steam started taking off that EA was like, we need a platform too. And then they made Origin. And then that's when everything fell apart.
And then Uplay came around. I think Uplay's consensus the worst offender.
It's like vaporware at this point, because you can still buy games on Steam, which is through a platform.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you launch the game, it goes to Uplay, and then you got to launch the game again. So it's like, why can't I just play the game? Why can't I just launch the EXE? Like,
the only thing I like about Uplay is those extras that you get when you get a few Uplay points.
I don't even care.
No, it's
I don't even care.
It's not even a huge deal. Like, I just liked it in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Like, that was, like you get a cool sword or something out of it, or
wouldn't you just rather like traditional unlockables?
Yeah, really though. Yeah, no, I would, but I think
it doesn't validate another platform.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually. But I just thought that was the only cool thing that they ever did.
Yeah.
So,
we're due for a quick break now.
Okay.
So we're going to take that break, and we'll be back soon. And we are back with Pixel Junkies podcast. So before the break, we were talking about unnecessary services.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going into industries where one person was already doing a plenty good enough job. I think that's the thing. Like, there's this old quote about business, and it's like something to the effect of, don't come up with your own idea. Find an area where someone is providing a service and they're not doing a good enough job at it, and do better.
Yeah. Which is, I think, this is a great thing. Like, I don't know, like you watch wrestling. That's another.
Sure, yeah.
Like, WWE is the number one, but then any other competition, like, usually they got better wrestling on it, less so much the entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
well, there's room to improve in that kind of industry.
Right?
Whereas with Steam, I mean, who is finding Steam to be an insufficient service right now?
Yeah.
The best deals. And Steam, as I understand the business model, they save the customer more money and they give more money to the developers.
80% off the Borderlands titles this week.
Are you serious?
Yeah. On Steam.
That ain't bad at all.
I just checked it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on sale on Steam.
It's crazy. This week. And it's like, I don't know where to get the nerve. I don't know how they can do it. I know, you know what? I think that's where the prices of digital files is the most realistic. Because essentially, you're just transferring data.
Well, exactly. You don't have to pay. Think of it. If you're a company and you just want to release on Steam,
yep.
You don't have to pay to produce those discs.
No.
You don't have to pay to ship the discs.
No.
You don't have to pay the stores. You don't have to work with
any money is pure profit.
Yeah, exactly.
In that sense, like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's why they have those sales. I mean, when they had the
you can afford to make
the Steam summer sale or even the winter sale, there were like indie developers that made like triple what they made in the previous year,
exactly,
just from the sale.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it's done.
Because it was like, this game is 90 cents. I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I'll never play it, but it's only 90 cents.
Yeah, because all your production costs are over then. The only costs you took are the costs when you were developing the game yourself and debugging and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, once you're like in the black at that point, once you're profiting on like all the game budget has been paid off, now everything is just like icing.
Yeah, that's excellent.
That is why services like this are great. I don't personally use it because I don't PC game, but I would love for it to just. I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, there are so many PlayStation titles that came out on PS3 that I can't play on my PS4 anymore, and it's like they're gonna come out as digital downloads probably in a year or whenever, like whenever they decide to revamp them or whatever. And I don't want that. I'm so sick of that garbage. It's like, why not have a service like Steam that is cross-platform, like you know what I mean? Like, why not let that be what PS4 is?
Right.
And then you can be like Netflix. You can have your Netflix originals. You can have your PS4 originals.
I get that.
But you could also play any game that's available on Xbox, or you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
because the PS4 and the Xbox are made by Sony and Microsoft. They're the middleman. Steam is like just a digital platform where publishers,
that's what I'm saying. But why
and
not?
Developers, but they host their own content.
Yeah.
Like Steam takes a small cut from their games.
Yep.
but they're hosting their own content. They're not like publishing it to Microsoft and then saying like, oh, okay, here's our game, here's the physical copy, here's the digital copy. And then they take whatever the cut is. I read the percentages one time, but I don't remember them now. But I mean, it's way higher than Steam. It has to be just for physical distribution.
And sometimes I like the the physical store, but I find the behavior of physical stores in recent years to be not the best. Yeah. To be honest, like the issue with we've talked before about like how much I hate DLC, a lot of DLC and stuff like that, and pre-order bonuses. I mean, physical game stores have to be the biggest offender of pre-order bonuses. Like, you remember when Watch Dogs, like, you had to have like apparently you actually needed a spreadsheet to discover like what different benefits you would get from different pre-orders. No way. Like, it was that complicated. It's like seriously, it's like a 10 by 10 spreadsheet. I've seen it. It's crazy.
That's stupid.
Like, and like, it shouldn't.
All stuff that becomes free after a year.
And it's crazy. Like, your game shouldn't be that complicated. That's why I like the old. You buy a game, and then you own it and you play it.
If it's broken, then the developer screwed up.
Then and they should have to live that down. Yep. They shouldn't be able to just continue patching and patching can be good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think their standards should be higher. That we don't have to just let them patch it for a year and then be like, it's fixed. It's like, I bought this a year ago, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
did you expect me to keep playing this for a year even though it's been broken? Like,
yeah.
What kind of mentality is that? Like, it's, I don't know. It kind of goes back to that like grade school, like you can never fail idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, sometimes you got to fail to learn from your mistakes, right? Like, and then there's also times when you realize that, like, you know what? I'm not doing math for a living because I'm probably not that great at it.
Yeah,
but it's like, if you never fail at it, then, well, go mad becoming a mathematician and then,
You know what's interesting as well?
It's a terrible mentality.
Companies that, or at least in some cases, in the cases that most come readily to mind to me at least, companies that went through that back in the like PS1 days, where if you released a game, you were held accountable to just what you released. Mm-hmm. A lot of them now are still releasing good games. They learn from it, and they like Insomniac Games, after they made Spyro back in the day, of course, and then when Next Gen came in, Online came in, they made Resistance, which was a very high quality game. Yep. All the Resistances weren't broken at all. Yep. And then they made Sunset Overdrive, which you can complain about, but as far as I know, there wasn't any big bug problem. I mean, you played it a bit. Did you encounter any critical bug issues during your time with it, or
nope? Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Yeah.
Or, can remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, I mean, I've heard a lot of people didn't really like the game, which is,
That's
its
fine.
own problem, sort of. Yeah,
like if it's that thing, like, it's going to go through the ringer, but, like, you want to, I don't know, personally, like, it's like writing songs for me. It's like, I don't want to send out a song. Like, I don't want to test a song in front of an audience before it's, like, basically album ready.
Well, that's sort of what early access is now.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of early access, but I can appreciate when developers acknowledge that their game isn't finished, because I guess it's a sad thing these days, but the fact that you can buy an early access game for cheaper than retail, going in knowing that this game is probably going to be buggy, but it's not finished, but I didn't pay full price for it.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of like, you play the game, it's like, all right, it's buggy. I don't know, I feel a little more reassured going in knowing like, okay, if I encounter a bug, I know that it's not done, and they'll probably fix it. Yeah. I can tell them about it, and they'll fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I actually don't mind early access purchases. To me, they're not as...
no, because...
Well, you don't put as much confidence in them.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Like, it is blatantly telling you what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't mind that, then that's cool. But if you buy a game full well thinking that it's going to be ready to play once you open the game, like, then it should be, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's sort of, the problem really is, fundamentally with DLC, is that they're selling you something that tells you on the one hand, that hand being the price tag, that it's a full game, and then a month later revealing to you that it's not a full game.
Yeah. It's depressing. Games.
Yeah, so going back to the Steam sale, right now, the sale ends today, Monday, when this comes out on YouTube. There is a 2K bundle on Steam. You get Borderlands 2, Civilization 5, XCOM, Enemy Unknown, Bioshock Infinite, Bureau, Darkness 2, Spec Ops: The Line, Mafia 2, Duke Nukem Forever, Borderlands Game of the Year, Bioshock 2, Bioshock,
$25.
Sid Meier's Ace Patrol, Pacific Skies, Civ 4, Civ 3, Civ Pirates, Civ Railroads, Civ 4 DLC. Retail price for all of those is $412. It's currently 87% off, and it's just under $54. So if you're thinking about buying a new game, just buy this bundle because it has like friggin' 200 games in it.
You're
It's
not...
a terrific deal.
Bioshock
Lots of those games are
Infinite.
incredible. Lots of those games are...
Civilization
Borderlands.
is good RTS.
Mafia 2, one of my
Mafia 2
three
is
games of all time.
For PC gamers, that game is legendary.
Well, Bioshock was
Absolutely.
amazing. I actually I loaned Bioshock to my cousin, and I haven't played it in a while.
Literally the game I've most changed my mind about over time. I've only loved that game more.
It's so good, and it's funny because like I had not played it probably going on a year now, and I loaned it to my cousin, and he starts playing it, and I was like, I'm really regretting loaning this to you because like I want to just toss this in and go flat out with it.
Is that Infinite?
Yeah, it's still one of the
So
most
good.
beautiful games.
Yeah.
And setting, I love the setting. Like that is where I'd love to live. Like,
It gets some great voice acting by both main characters.
Oh yeah.
Who did Elizabeth?
I forget now.
Sarah something. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, she's great.
And Troy Baker in the lead role. Troy Baker's amazing.
Yeah.
He was great in Infamous Second Son as well.
Yeah.
This has at least 4 like top tier games, legendary games in it.
Also,
all worth $60 each.
XCOM Enemy Unknown is one of those games. See,
Hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem for a lot of people, and because the thing I like about it, when I play that game, I'm like, these people who made this have a real passion for video games.
Yeah.
They released an insanely detailed product. See, those are the people who were confident in their product. They just released it, and they're like, people are going to have a lot of fun with this, single player experience.
Yeah.
That's I've
been meaning to
so
check
impressed.
it out. I don't know. Is it the cover reminds me of like a Halo-esque kind of, or like Gears of War meets Halo?
nothing like it.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Well, what about the Bureau? Isn't that like I think that's more up my alley.
That's
I
still
feel like
RTS type deal, isn't it? Like turn based.
the Bureau or
XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Well, the Bureau's XCOM something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an expansion on the original game, but it looks like it takes place in like.
I'm not sure what I've heard about that. I think I might have heard some bad things about that. But XCOM Enemy Unknown is definitely the one I've heard universally good things
Is it
about
an alien shooter?
Yes.
It has mixed reviews on Steam.
Yeah, Enemy Unknown is the top level one.
Yeah.
Like that's the one, and it's like it's like a board game. That's the closest I have to it. It's like you played Shadowrun and D&D and stuff like that before.
Is that what it's like?
Yeah, it's like it's got that kind of feel. Like it doesn't. It's.
Well, even if you want to try it out, you could dump $5 on it. It's $5 on Steam. Actually, it's $4.39.
Well, $87
right
for all those games.
Yeah, I know, but you can get it for $4.
87% off, just under
not a
$50
big loss.
for all those games.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, that's
and
crazy.
all those games are 75 to 80% off on their own. So you don't need to buy that bundle if you don't want to.
But
you can get all those games individually. Mafia 2 is $8. Bioshock Infinite is $8.
Crazy.
Darkness 2 is
and these
$7.
are all big
Those are all legit games.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition is $9.
Borderlands 2 is an amazing game.
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got all the DLC.
Yeah, exactly.
Bioshock 2.
Yeah, the
$6.
proper way to do DLC, by the way, release it at game that's actually full. There's lots to do in Borderlands, and then release DLC.
Oh my god,
That had great DLC as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The pirate treasure, the monster,
Tiny
Cove,
Tina's
the Dungeons and Dragons
whatever
thing?
one that was. Yeah,
Assault
that
on
was-
Dragon Keep.
that had a lot of Game of Thrones references in it.
Yeah, but that was a
great.
lot of fun too.
That was probably the best one.
Although the only issue I have with Borderlands is like I'm not a huge multiplayer kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Not that I don't like it,
Sure, yeah.
but
I don't like it.
I don't like it. But if I want to play through Borderlands and then go take on these incredibly hard bosses, it's impossible. It is impossible.
The first one was really difficult.
I could be level 1,000 if they give it to me. And these characters that they have, like, you need 4 people to beat this guy, it
Right,
says.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And I'm like, man, I just want to take this boss on, beat him, and feel that achievement. But it's like, no.
I know what you mean. Although,
can't.
I will say there is a lot you could do in single player in that.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
no, don't get me wrong, but it's like you get these there's 10 missions I have now in this game where it's like beat Pete the Invincible, beat these 4 massive dragons that are attacking you with all elemental like.
If you do certain DLCs before the other ones, I think General Knox, the first one
in Borderlands 1,
General Knox's secret armory or whatever.
Yeah.
That one was probably the hardest one that I can remember doing solo, because you had to beat him in like a mech suit like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
that was not easy. And then one of them, they put you into like a pit, and you don't get any ammo. So I think I ended up like meleeing him to death. Like you run in and melee him, and then
which
run
did
away
no
again.
damage in the first Borderlands, man.
No, well I had
I don't
Siren.
think you could level it up.
I was Siren, so
okay.
I could just like. I think that did like splash flame damage when you're doing the phase walk.
Yeah,
I've
so
always
you could just like run next to him and it would hurt him.
Yeah,
I've always played Siren. That's always been my favorite class.
The first one.
And the change from the first game of this, I really like the special ability in the second game. That was like I play a lot of co-op, and so like being able to drag an enemy up out of their cover and having my guys shoot at him was a deadly combination.
Showing Andrew his text, because we can't talk about it yet because we're still in the radio portion of the podcast.
Oh,
we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't
worry about it.
No, we'll find out, though, for sure.
All right, sounds good.
What was I gonna... Oh, yeah, the phase locking, though, that was like mind-blowing for me when I first started playing Borderlands 2, because I played through it on PC, and PC had the PhysX editions. So when I first used it, when I like unlocked it, I think you need to be like level 5 to use your special ability.
Doesn't it like pull dirt from the ground and everything?
And
like that?
like blood and like even like cloth, like there'd be like tarps on tops of buildings, like awnings and stuff, and all of that just got like tornadoed into like a spiral, and it was just like, this is amazing.
Isn't PhysX beautiful?
Oh, it is.
I used to have it at Video Card.
Awesome.
I don't anymore, but I have 6-core processor, so I can manage some PhysX stuff. But yeah, physics is actually one of the things. Like I actually do the bulk of my gaming on my console.
Yeah.
Like when I want, because I intuitively just like
me too.
the aspects of the console. But there's certain games that I save for PC.
Yeah.
That like, oh, I'm playing this on PC.
Yeah.
Borderlands being one of them.
Yeah.
One of the things I do really like about PC gaming, like the immersion you get with the monitor right in front of you, and the things you see, like even not just a game that has amazing graphical capabilities.
Yeah.
Like I was playing Skyrim. One of the things that blows my mind about Skyrim on PC is if you miss and your arrow bounces off of something, you can actually watch it the whole way through its arc, like fall down a cliff or something.
Yeah.
And you'd never see it on a console because you're too far away.
Yeah.
But being right there, being able to watch the arrow, I was like, wow, that's incredible.
I always loved, even on PC, because you could shoot the arrow and then detach the camera and follow the arrow up in the air and see where it went. There's a video online of a guy who, I think he's in Solitude.
Does a headshot?
And he fires an arrow straight up in the air and then walks down a path, whatever. Sees this woman, strikes up a conversation with her, and then like mid-sentence an arrow goes down through the top of her head.
I think we're kindred spirits, you and I. And then boom. That's one of the best videos on YouTube. That's one of my favorites, actually.
That's hilarious.
Oh, it was great.
That's crazy timing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love
that's
that.
impeccable.
Yeah.
I don't
Spacing and timing with the dialogue. I don't know if that was just like, I'm going to fraps for some reason. Like, yeah.
I wonder how many times it might have taken him to do that. That always impresses me.
Yeah.
Like when there was one like this old like Battlefield thing. So the thing about Battlefield 1942, when you got hit with a grenade, what would actually kill you sometimes was not the explosion from the grenade, but you'd fly up in the air. When you fell back down, the fall damage would kill you.
Oh, okay.
So there was.
That's cool.
It only if it hit a certain angle, but it's very cool, right? And so this explosion hits. This guy flies up in the air, and there's a plane going by, and he just like hits E and jumps into like the secondary gunner position or something like that.
You're talking about 1942?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that, man, back in the day. People used to like set landmines and then run into them and blow themselves into the air and then parachute back down.
Yeah. that was one of my favorite games growing up as a kid, man.
Yeah, there's something similar.
That was so fun. 1943. I wish they would properly remake 1942.
I know, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
All the single player levels, every single part of it.
You know what? They haven't really done anything World War One or Two in the latest generation. Well, not even last gen. Not even Xbox or
not especially stuff like that. Like all their stuff has been narrative driven.
Yeah,
and like,
I would love to see like a new take on like Saving Private Ryan or something.
Yeah.
Like with the
Brothers in Arms was about as close as we got on like 360 and PS3.
And those weren't even like really well.
They were fun games. They weren't like what you're thinking of, like FPSs.
They weren't huge titles.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like Medal of Honor come back.
Yeah,
like, the original Frontline.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But like, let's do this like Normandy. Like, let's set up the beach. You know, on D-Day and
one thing I think we're missing now too, and my dad was talking about this the other day actually.
Yeah.
Like in Battlefield 1942, what you could go, it wasn't multiplayer, but well, I mean it was, but you could jump into a single player match and you'd play with AI soldiers and AI opponents in these big battles.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And literally no one is making a game like that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Not a single person. And I honestly think that's like a just like a missed market.
Counter-Strike is about as close
yeah,
as
that's
you
the
can
closest
get.
we got
that
now.
game has just been that game. Counter-Strike's been on the go now for like
I know.
20 years.
Yeah.
Me, Andrew, and Dave played a game of that a while ago, and I didn't realize
Counter-Strike Go, the new one?
I didn't realize there's no iron sights in that game.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's the iron sights button?" I was like, "There isn't one."
No,
I was like,
yeah.
Wow, this is so old. It's new, but it's old.
Well, that's the thing. They just keep remaking the same game. Basically, they keep putting it on a new engine.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost to the point where they can't change it now because everyone will be like, "Why did you make this gun less powerful? Why are the controls
exactly.
different?"
And I admire that. That's the kind of thing we need with Battlefield games. We need someone who's going to want to consistently make them and not like because basically, let's face it, like the Battlefield of today, Battlefield Hardline. If you see footage, it's Battlefield.
A Fast and Furious movie.
It's Battlefield in name only.
Yeah,
like
it's basically the new Fast and Furious movie. Like that's
even up to as recently as Bad Company 2, they were still doing kind of the old Battlefield thing, which was huge maps where you'd have one of the great things about Battlefield is there wasn't always action. You get these long spaces of just like looking through a scope.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I like that.
Like to me at least, and now that we just don't have that, it's gotta be like everything's gotta be blowing up all the time.
Everything's got to be put on like a dockyard, like where you got like 100 feet to move, and it's just like there's 20 guys here. I got 100 feet to move. Why'd I get shot in the back? Obviously, because every time I spawn, I'm gonna get shot in the back. Like it's just.
I wish
really
there were
annoying to
more
me.
emphasis on like you die, you gotta wait until the round is over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's just like there was a mode in COD 4, and there might have been in later CODs, but I haven't really played them. Where that was the objective. Like it's whatever it was,
Last man
4
standing.
or 8 on 8 or something like that, and then whoever kills the last guy, you have one life. I like to see something like that because then it sort of puts emphasis on survival rather than just hauling.
That's kind of similar to like the multiplayer in GTA 5. You get just like a certain number of lives during each mission and stuff, and like I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think like just in general, like it's cool if there wants to be a game where stuff is always blowing up and stuff's going crazy, but don't make it Battlefield. Don't take a game that was already something else.
Yeah,
just keep doing the game. There's surely games that are already doing that. Like,
they've played around with that IP for a while. I mean, they did Bad Company.
Yeah, that's true.
Which wasn't really like a war game. It was. I mean, it was, but it was more narrative than I think it was actual war.
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't really seem that off the wall that they would do.
Yeah, maybe not anymore. Well, not Hardline. I think Battlefield 3 was the big transition where they totally took it out of whack. Well, for me at least. Yeah. I'm just a big fan of like I'm a patient gamer, I think, and like in old FPS, like I remember when Call of Duty started becoming a thing, people would criticize you if you were a sniper that just like took his time sniping and you just go zoom shoot. And I'm like, I like being a sniper and being patient. That's the fun of the class to me.
But now it's not like that. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, it drives people nuts. People are like, why are you just sitting here? I'm like, I don't know. I'm taking my time, getting a good position.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get behind. I will never get behind Call of Duty, and I can't get behind recent Battlefront or Battlefield.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Well, it's weird to me that the games they've inserted so much new elements of strategy now. You got planes and vehicles, but people online are resistant to the most basic strategy of all, which is just picking your own play style. People get mad at you. That's crazy to me.
It's just that's it. Like, there's no skill to that, boy. It's like, no, it is exactly what it is. There's skill. It's just like
skill for everything.
It's like you going out and getting a job. Like you're not good at Call of Duty. You're good at the character you're playing.
Yeah, is there really any skill though?
Not anymore.
I mean, a massive margin of those types of games is balancing the playing field. Yeah, like having a balanced game, and it's most of the time, I'd say a large majority of that is just luck. You lucked into being in the right spot. You lucked into the right strategy. You lucked into the guy not knowing you were there or something.
But there are professional players, though. That's the only.
There are. I mean, I'm not saying you can't be good at it, but
I
I don't know how much like me in the right day at the right time I could beat an MLG COD player. It's just whoever pulls the trigger first and is aiming in the right spot.
Yeah.
And one thing as well, back in like the days when I was playing Resistance, so we're talking like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of this, strategy that at the time I didn't think was an insult, which was camping, which was I would find a good location. I would spend ages scouring these maps, finding the best locations, and I would hold down this spot because it was a defensible location. Yeah. This seemed perfectly strategic. And people got mad at me, and it didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, so I'm in a spot that's working, and you want me to leave this spot for a spot that's going to work less effectively? Why? So you can do better? That doesn't make any sense. We're competing here.
Yeah.
Man, commentary online doesn't hold any weight at all. People just say whatever comes to mind, and if you ended up killing them, then whatever you're doing is wrong.
It's dumb for some reason. It's crazy to me.
It is childish.
We got to take a quick break now. When we come back, we're going to talk more about
Battlefront.
Something we can talk about Battlefront if you want. Sure. Yeah. So stay tuned. And we are back on the Pixel Junkies podcast. Welcome back.
Hola.
What's up?
So we were talking about video games before. Now, Jordan, you want to talk about Battlefront? Is that right?
I do. Yeah. Well, we were talking about first-person shooters, and I think Battlefront could be a third-person or a first-person shooter. Was one of the best made games ever for having bots, because you had this huge team of potential,
I'm not very good at it.
It could be you and a buddy on a team.
I'm so bad at that
versus
game.
Bots, but when you really get into that game,
I'm really good at standing on top of the world and not getting hit by anything, but actually playing it,
I don't know, man. Like it's one of those games that have really diverse maps.
That has.
There
you go.
Really diverse maps.
Guys, is Wikipedia down?
I don't know.
No.
Someone didn't pay enough for their during their fundraising.
Wikipedia.org is working for me, Rory.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've got IGN's working here, but Wikipedia's not. Huh. Maybe that's just the university.
So they're gonna. They I guess EA said they're gonna show the game at the Star Wars Celebration in April. Is that when it is? Or May?
When is the new movie coming out?
The new movie is coming out December 15th.
Oh, I thought it was coming out sooner.
And Battlefront is coming out around the same time.
I'm excited for that. There hasn't been that much, I don't know. There hasn't been many trailers.
For what?
There was this one thing where it was like the Battle of Hoth.
December 18th this year.
Yeah, December 18th. That's right.
Is when
the movie comes out.
And probably when that Tuesday or whatever is when.
I'd say Battlefront will be out before the movie.
But,
just to build hype,
Yeah, well, I'm really excited for it, but there hasn't been too much tell on it. But I think if it's anything like Battlefront 2,
we'll definitely see some stuff at E3, man.
Yeah,
if they're going to show the game at the Star Wars Celebration,
definitely
getting a nice level demo or something.
Yeah, they're going to want to capitalize on that opportunity.
But I just can't wait.
I know what you mean.
In terms of for me, it's anticipation.
Neither can I, because that means they can focus all their efforts on Mirror's Edge, which is what I'm really excited for.
That's another thing, too. Mirror's Edge.
Get this game out of the way, DICE. Work on Mirror's Edge.
But at the same time, man, I hope they put a lot of good work into this, and it's not another Battlefield.
Well,
that's what I'm worried about.
From the conceptual models and stuff they showed last E3, it looks, like it's going to be good.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I don't know how the gameplay is or the animation.
Yeah, I just I feel like they're gonna be all right, well, let's bring Battlefield 3 into Star Wars, and it's gonna be like that all over again. I'm just gonna be like, no, I don't want it. But if you need to keep it. I won't say cartoonish, because that's not the way Star Wars actually is. But it's more, I don't know. There was a perfect level of player balance I found. You know what I mean? If you played as a Jedi in Battlefront, you got more health. You got to use your lightsaber. You had your lightsaber abilities. But you weren't overpowered. People could still kill you in that game, right? I don't know. I think... But in terms of first-person shooters, I'm putting Battlefront as my number one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah.
Just because the vehicle stuff, Is that from the game?
Yep. I can pull up some screenshots.
Yeah, no.
For the podcast. If you're listening to the audio version, we're just looking at screenshots from last year's E3 Battlefront.
It looks real.
And there's this one here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that game is going to be amazing then.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff from that just looks unbelievable, right? Like
mind-blowing, for sure.
You almost can't believe some of it's a screenshot, right?
Yeah,
like it's
which is good. Which is where it needs to be.
It's like, are they doctoring the screenshots at all? Were they taken from footage? I think some of these are actually taken from footage, so that's a good thing. Like, they're taken off a TV.
Exactly, yeah. Which is the way you want your screenshots to be.
Yeah, because then it's running an engine. It's not like...
Wasn't that a big problem with Watch Dogs?
Photoshopped to hell. Oh, yeah. Well, I think the problem with Watch Dogs was... I don't know if they couldn't optimize it for the hardware or something. Like, they showed it in 2012, I think.
Right, yeah.
And then it was like, oh wait, this game doesn't work. Let's just like slowly back away into the shadows and then come back 2 years from now and the game looks way worse.
You'll never see a more hit and miss company than Ubisoft in terms of like really huge successes and then really disastrous failures.
I don't get it.
How did this happen? Like, it blows my mind that, think about it. Think about that, the fact that Child of Light, Assassin's Creed Unity, and then Far Cry 4 all came out in the same year. It's like, that's about as up and down as you can find.
Different studios?
I guess probably.
Rainbow Six looks amazing. The new one,
exactly.
Patriots, I think it's called.
Was that always Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Here's the thing. Like with with Bethesda published games, we know what the different developers are because they all have completely different names. Like Arcane, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software. But in Ubisoft, they're all called Ubisoft something. Yeah. Like Ubisoft Montreal or whatever it is, right? Same situation with Rockstar, really. Yeah. Right? You have like Rockstar San Diego.
Well, the thing about Rockstar is like they're
Toronto.
putting out. Yeah. We have no worries with Rockstar. They're just putting out quality stuff.
Well, when they get around to putting it out.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
But again, I'd rather they put out a game that works than put it out just because they said they were going to put it out and then it's broken.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, they definitely picked the better... I mean, ideally, you want to be in the situation where you have neither happen, but they picked the better end of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
The original Rainbow Six was developed and published by Red Storm Entertainment. Okay. And I guess sometime after it was bought up by Ubisoft. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, that's exciting too. But I don't know. I can't wait for it. There's a lot of really cool games coming out this year.
A lot of stuff is exciting this year. Arkham Knight's coming out this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm super pumped for. Although this is my issue with this game. Mm-hmm. You watch the trailer,
sure,
and he gets into Batmobile, and instantly I'm thinking to myself, are you taking away from the game mechanics just so you can have a car in it?
I know exactly what you mean.
Could you not drive it in City?
I don't know.
Did you not play it?
Arkham Knight.
Yeah, but could you drive the Batmobile in Arkham City?
No.
Oh.
No, you couldn't drive, you couldn't.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I thought you meant in the city.
No, I mean in Arkham City it would make sense.
There's no cars. I think they're all parked. There's no
There's no moving vehicles, yeah. I mean, there's helicopters, but that's it, yeah. Like, there's no, like, I didn't find the need for cars in this game, to be honest.
And
I wanted to grab a bad guy by the throat and hurl him underneath a bus or something, and then just get
exactly.
Cool. Yeah,
satisfying crunch. It's like in GoldenEye.
I'm worried
run over
because
him in a tank.
This is the last game in this series.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they putting this mechanic in there, and you can't do that stuff? Because what I'm finding an issue with now is that you get these Lego games coming out now. And they're better.
Just now?
What?
Lego games have been coming out for a long time.
You mean the new ones?
The newer, like the new Batman 2.
Like Marvel?
The Lego Marvel. These games are amazing. Like in terms of like, other than the fact that these are Lego characters, you can pick up a pedestrian on the street, throw him under a car, and then he becomes a bunch of bricks.
As I've heard, by the way, also, I've heard the Lego movie is incredible. I never saw it.
It is amazing.
But I've heard really good.
I don't know how they turned around Lego Marvel so quick. Because it was like 1 week they announced like, oh, Lego has the rights to make Marvel games now, and then like 2 weeks later, like, oh, Lego Marvel the game. It's like, oh, that's probably going to be pretty terrible because they just got the rights to it.
It's one of the best games you ever played, isn't it?
A fantastic game.
It is literally one of the best games I've ever played.
The situation with Arkham Knight, I think, is this. I love Saints Row.
Yeah.
Saints Row the Third is one of my favorite games of its generation.
Okay. Yeah.
I had a big problem with Saints Row 4. I liked it, but there was one big problem. one of my favorite things about Saints Row the Third was how good the driving was.
Yeah.
But by giving me superpowers, I can move faster than the cars, so I don't need them anymore. And so it took away one of the most... And I'm worried the same thing's going to happen with Arkham, in that one of the funnest things was to glide around and use your grappling hook. And by giving me the Batmobile, maybe I'm traveling faster than I ever could like that.
Well, I can see that being an okay thing.
Really? I could see it really limiting me and having... And it's not as fun to do the combat then. Because the hand-to-hand combat in that's so
it's
good.
another means of getting around. I mean, you can like take the ground
But
approach.
that's the thing. They need to do a fine... There's a fine line where one of those is going to overtake the other.
It depends upon how good the Batmobile... Batmobile can't be too good.
Yeah.
Because in Saints Row 4, your superpowers are too good.
I don't think it will be. Like, even if it is faster... You're still, like, it's a ground assault. Like, people can probably hear you.
We'll hope, we'll hope that they balance it out.
I think the issue is that, like, you watch every trailer has the Batmobile in it, and they're like, "Woo, we got the Batmobile," and you're like,
"Is it just they're advertising a feature?"
I know, but it's like the main feature in the game now. But it's like the stuff that they had originally in these games was good enough.
Yeah, but I doubt they got rid of that, Jordan. It's just like you played 10 or 40 of these games, however many there's been.
Yeah.
You know what to expect.
I know.
But here's also the Batmobile
it is
now.
still a concern that I have. I still am concerned about it. But it's still going to be a good game. I'm still going to play the crap out of it. Because I love the other ones, right? Like, it's...
So in Saints Row 4, why is it just that city? Like, it doesn't... don't the aliens, like, invade or something?
Yeah, so then
you go into, like, a Matrix world?
They create... Yeah, that's the thing. They only created that city in the Matrix world. It's, like, purely for him.
That sounds like a developer excuse.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Considering it's the same city from the previous game, it is a massive developer excuse.
Yeah, which is one of the things. Yeah, like honestly, that's one of those things where I was just like,
it's like, how come I can't go to like Burma or something?
Yeah, Saints Row the Third, I think is just better. Like,
why is
for
it
me,
like
it's like so definitively better.
I think my favorite thing about Saints Row, and I haven't played enough of them to say very much about them, but is that it's there's humor in Grand Theft Auto. But it's like the humor level is taken like 10 times.
Humor.
Well, like, what's the name of the Skidoo? Or, not Skidoo, Sea-Doo?
The Speedophile?
Yeah, you're from Newfoundland when you say Skidoo instead of Sea-Doo.
There are some funny things in GTA that'll just, like, catch you off guard.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, that's funny.
But
that's kind of clever.
Saints Row just went buck wild with it.
Some of the humor in I really like the humor in Saints Row the Third. I'm a little less crazy about it sometimes in 4.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that like said it really well was actually like for those listening who don't know who Yahtzee is, despite the fact that he's on a vastly more popular so his channel.
How did you find us and not him?
Yeah, exactly. But he does like humorous reviews of games. He's not actually trying to be like a serious critic, but he still manages like a lot of insight in these humorous videos, right? Sometimes he'll uncover something that other critics didn't say, which I quite like. And if he was doing serious reviews, I'm sure he'd do a great job of that too. And one of the things he said about Saints Row is that Saints Row doesn't understand the difference between referencing something and satire. There's a bit of difference, like, for instance, there's a thing where you, like, crawl around in, like, a cardboard box.
Yeah.
But as he says, that's not making fun of Metal Gear Solid, that's just what you do in Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke about Metal Gear Solid, it's just a fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And, like, that's a good point. There's a big difference between just reference and actually constructing humor.
It's not my favorite thing. I was going to say it's my favorite thing, but I like the fact that, like, they don't care.
And
you can run around naked in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like you're going around the streets and boys like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you naked?"
And you know what
else?
Why
are you naked?
You know what else? They've made a really technically good game.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been playing that game and found it to be overly buggy or anything like that. It's just another really well-designed game.
It's like, to me, I feel like it's lacking something, but I think that substance is what makes it so playable.
Yeah,
like that lack of substance.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like sometimes when it's too narrative based, you can't go back and just blow up a tank. You know what I mean? Like you're like, well, I'm done. I did everything. But in this, it's kind of like, well, what can I mess around with today? Right? Like I think that's the best thing about Saints Row.
Yeah, exactly. It's taken something sort of from Grand Theft Auto, and it's like it feels like it was inspired by this is what people the developers liked to do when they played Grand Theft Auto, and they made a game around that. Some other critic said that, and I think it was really, really well put. Because that's what it is. I mean, it's
based on a lot of the gameplay I've seen. It just looks like Crackdown. Like I know, it kind of improves a lot on what Crackdown did, but it's
is
sort
it
of
the same developer?
No.
Well then,
based on what I've seen, like I played Prototype, and when I played Prototype, I was like, "This is just Crackdown."
I felt the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Crackdown, and
I thought there was like a satirical take.
There's actually the Prototype. Special this week is in Crackdown.
Was I playing?
No, you weren't. You don't even know if you were there or not. That's funny.
we played
so I just feel like if I played Saints Row 4, I'd just be like, "Oh, this is just Crackdown," you know. Got like the dubstep gun in that game. Does it even play dubstep?
The dubstep gun is not one of the things I'm craziest about.
But can you make it play dubstep? From what I've seen, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, why did they just call it?
The beat. That's a good point.
And it can play like Oktoberfest music and like death metal. No dubstep.
It does drop the beat.
As far from the music from the tracks that I've seen people play with, no dubstep. Thanks, Jordan. Just call it a music gun, or like a
I know what you
mean.
Something. Yeah.
Like as much as I hate
I feel
dubstep,
like dubstep is trying by calling it dubstep, you're trying too hard to make a cultural reference.
Yeah. Like if it's I hate
like
dubstep.
The America gun.
Right. Yeah.
The America gun.
But if it's called a dubstep gun, I want it to play dubstep, not like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this isn't dubstep.
But then when you fire the gun, it's like,
I want to hate it. Yeah, but it doesn't.
Oh my god, call 911!
I'm just gonna.
I
look
hate
it up.
dubstep, so I don't care.
I know, but
I like the I think that kind of
one of the best uses of dubstep ever was, or dubstep-like music. Like I'm not technically sure what qualifies as dubstep.
Yeah.
But in Far Cry 3. When the Damian Marley and Skrillex song comes up as you're burning the... Did you play Far Cry 3?
No.
Oh, okay, that's it, yeah.
4 and I'm like,
you didn't play 3.
No. I didn't need
I played 3. Not very much of it, though.
4 had a new update this week. You can
The Yeti one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
I heard that was coming out.
I got it downloaded, and I'm super excited to play
I thought that was funny, because like I think Adam actually suggested that like a long time ago to me. He's like, "What? You know, you should be able to go up against the Yeti." I'm like, "Nah, they're never gonna do that. It doesn't fit with the thing." And
I heard there weren't enough Yetis in that.
Oh, really?
Really?
You only fight like a couple Yetis?
Yeah, there's apparently only a couple Yetis.
There shouldn't be that many Yetis, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. But I mean, like, I think it's similar to like the Bigfoot thing in Red Dead.
If they
Redemption or GTA San Andreas.
If they kind of built though, like I haven't played this, so I don't know, but I think if there was some sort of structure to like the Yetis, like maybe you fight a Yeti at the end, and he's like some super boss Yeti, like I'd be fine with fighting 3.
See, I think
if it was kind of structured.
I think the best thing about Far Cry for me is that they take themselves pretty seriously during the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, but there's a few comical moments, like in Far Cry 4, you can do like a lot of drug paraphernalia and all that stuff in it. And it's kind of takes you on this wild trip through like Shangri-La and all that stuff. But then, like, it's a pretty serious tone of a game. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of serious moments. And then they put out a DLC where you fight Yetis. It was the same as 3 and
that's a nice tone.
Blood Dragon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, they need to make a sequel to that game. Blood Dragon?
Yeah.
They need to make a full version of that game. Like, just something massive.
Was it not long enough?
What?
Was it not long enough?
It was long, but like, I'd love to see something.
You just want more of it, yeah.
That atmosphere, that music, the weaponry in it, the...
Weaponry?
That's the word?
No, the word is weaponry.
No, let him go with it.
Oh, man.
You didn't let him go with it.
Weaponry.
I was just confirming that's what he said.
Okay, yeah.
Weaponary.
Yeah, weaponry.
No, but I've heard weaponry before and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's a common thing. Like, like it's not the actual word, but it's a common thing to say,
Close
I think.
enough.
I had a history professor who used to say that. Or, not a history professor, history teacher. I've never taken a university history course.
Good. History teachers can be wrong, too. But yeah, no, I think Blood Dragon, they should make a full version of it. Just because it reminded me of like the T-1000 in like Terminator.
Oh, yeah?
Like, yeah? I don't know, I thought that was really cool. And that's something else. They need to make better movie games.
Oh boy, do they.
I would love to play a Terminator 2 game.
Terminator
But it goes
Salvation. Easy 1,000 points there.
Oh yeah, I've heard that's an easy on PlayStation easy platinum trophy. Yeah, that's one of the easiest platinum trophies.
I don't even know how do you go about it. Just beat the game.
Just beat the game on hard.
Really?
It's not that hard. There's some bits where you're like, this is stupid, but it's not.
Yeah, well, I've heard the hardest part is actually getting through it and just tolerating. Isn't it like 5 hours long?
It's not very long.
It's something like obscenely short.
It might be like 6 or 7 hours on the hardest difficulty.
Wow.
So.
That is amazing to me. Actually, you know what? I like that movie more than a lot of people do, though. Terminator Salvation. I thought that movie was a lot of fun.
Terminator 3 was okay.
Yeah, like
I'm not a fan of how like they keep fooling up the
timeline.
Yeah, and just even the actors. Like
the new timeline is like
I hate when they recast everybody.
Yeah.
Like I know it's difficult to keep the same actors from movie to movie, but it drives me nuts when like this character is supposed to be this character. It's like, all right, John Connor's Christian Bale in Salvation. That's cool. We haven't seen adult John Connor.
Yeah.
And then in the new movie, it's the dude from Rise of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's like, how come it's not Christian Bale anymore? What happened to him?
Right, yeah, I know what you mean. And
I think money is the biggest issue in a lot of those
Emilia
cases.
Clarke, though.
Emilia Clarke's in, and it comes out July 1st, by the way, which is
I'll watch it.
3 days before a big holiday in the States, but here it's Canada Day. That's what July 1st.
Yeah.
Well, actually, here in Newfoundland, it's actually a bunch of things. One of which is Canada Day.
What is it? The other?
Here in Newfoundland, it's
like Flag Day. Or something.
It's a Memorial Day in Newfoundland.
Oh.
Right? Because
I don't
know. We really should.
I'm a useless human.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day in Newfoundland for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Interesting.
be sure
I thought
to
that was
memorialize.
No, it's Beaumont Hamel, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do people call it?
And Battle of Somme, I think. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh yeah, but people calling it May 2-4 drives me nuts.
I wish the camera was like just a foot lower.
Yeah, they got Emilia Clarke, they got Matt Smith, and they got J.K. Simmons in the.
Jesus Christ, sorry, Rory.
They got a good few actors in this new Terminator film.
Emilia Clarke.
Arnold's back.
Emilia Clarke is fantastic, isn't it? July 1st, yeah.
Oh, well, Game of Thrones will be on by then. I'll probably have my Emilia fix.
Yeah.
Is she the main character from that?
She's Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Khaleesi. Dragons.
She's
the blonde missus?
Yeah, the blonde missus.
She's like...
That's about as much as I know of Game of Thrones. I watched the entire first season, and that's
all you got.
You could argue that she's like the main character of that show.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is by the end of the first season, like you can't know everyone's name by then. Like oftentimes, I actually find out in retrospect. Like I watch a season and I'm like, now I'm gonna go back and find out what else people were named.
She has such an arc, though, man. Like her story.
She's done, and she's a great actress too. That was the first thing I ever saw her in, I think.
Yep.
And I think probably for a lot of people it was.
Who's your favorite character on the show then?
My favorite character,
probably in the story sense. Like maybe not just like you like the actor or whatever, but you like where they've come from and where the character's going.
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I mean, I really liked Robb Stark.
Yeah,
I think he was well done. Sort of a traditional character, but not traditional. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is the problem with Game of Thrones, isn't it? I thought Cersei was a really well done character. Actually, I think
she
Haiti blows it out of the park.
She sort of gets typecast a lot as sort of that like archetypical sort of antagonist, strong-willed, almost heroine type character. But in real life, she is so timid. Like Lady Haiti she's so quiet and she's so like she comes off as shy. She was on Conan O'Brien once, and it's just like, how are you this character on Game of Thrones, but
she's a very
so shy in real life?
But actually, you know what? Ultimately, my favorite character might be Daenerys. All factors considered, acting, script, storyline. Emilia Clarke, the blonde missus.
Terminator.
Okay.
The dragons.
That's just a supremely well done character and someone you can actually root for in that show. Which that's one of the things that's cool about that show. You really do. Different people will root for different characters. Yeah. There's not just like a guarantee. In the early seasons, there was like they made it a little more explicit. Like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. But now it's gotten a lot more ambiguous.
Yeah, for sure. I love that about that show.
Oh, we're done the radio show.
Okay.
Oh man.
So
stay tuned next week. Watch next. And we are back for the Pixel Junkies podcast after show. Yeah, we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Wait,
now in slightly lower quality edition.
Can I curse now?
Yep.
Rory fucked up again.
Yeah, I did. I always let the radio show run too long.
Too long.
So wait, is it slightly lower quality? Does this sound program?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that. I looked at it before. I'll look at it again.
That's disturbing.
So I have a question for you.
I don't know. I think it's in the same.
From a non-Game of Thrones fan. Yeah. Not that I just can't get into it.
Sure. Yeah. Season, Adam's the same way. I think. Well, Adam's tried to get into it. He just hasn't.
Did you watch the entire first season?
Yeah. But I was kind of like watching it like while doing other things. I think I was studying at the time. Maybe I was still in school while I was watching.
Oh right, yeah.
So, like, I was just, like, I'd look up periodically and see a pair of boobs or something, and I'd be like, oh, this shows...
That's pretty much all the time, yeah.
A lot of boobs. But has it become something that, like, it's like The Walking Dead, like, you know, the mid-season finale of Walking Dead, someone's gonna die, and the season finale of The Walking Dead, somebody's probably gonna die. Has it become something like that?
No, not... And actually, my favorite episodes... Well, my favorite episode of the show is actually... I'm gonna actually...
There are like killings on it.
Yeah, but are they periodic? Like you can expect it to come. Okay.
Like sometimes they'll be around the end of the season, but I think that it just coincides with where the story is at that point. You know,
a lot of people a lot of fans and you know it's totally their right. You know, pick their own favorite episodes, but a lot of fans go for the huge dramatic episodes with the big battle. Yeah. My favorite episode of the entire series is season 3, episode 8, Second Sons, and it's the wedding episode with I mean, spoiler alert for the next 10 seconds. Plug your ears.
Wait now, don't say it.
Can you plug your ears?
Was that the red wedding?
No, it wasn't. It was the it's the Tyrion wedding.
I don't remember that.
It's really good. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
You couldn't get into it, and you plan on watching the show now or something?
But yeah,
I don't remember that episode.
It's a really good episode, and it's right before the battle of the water and the ships. It's the episode before that episode. Yeah, exactly.
Blackwater Bay.
No, there's no spoilers here.
We're saying the names of the things.
Dude,
not all what happens.
Why that song?
Why not?
I don't know. I figured it was
Kiss from a Rose?
Yeah, I figured you were gonna do the Game of Thrones theme or something.
The Castamere, Raise a Castamere.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how that goes.
Yeah, and that's a very good episode. But yeah, I find the subtler, more dramatic ones to be more my speed. Like
you can catch those now. Like if you're paying attention, like watching the show, they play that song every single time right before somebody dies. Every single time. Right.
Yeah.
Like in one of the more recent episodes, season 4 is the latest one, right?
Yes, season 4 is the latest one.
Yeah. So I think it was in the finale. It might have been an episode before. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. I'm a terrible fan. Sorry. But sometimes they play the song, like they have a choir sing it, and you're like, oh, it's this particular song.
Yeah.
And then, but later in the show, they'll have it really subtle, just like strings, and they'll skip every couple of seconds is a space, and then another note, and you're like, wait, that's that song, and then someone dies, and it's just
beheadings.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily beheading, but it's really cool how it's oh, something's gonna happen. I'm seeing something and it's cool because it might sound like it's predictable, oh, hearing the song, someone's gonna die, but then it's also who's gonna die? Is it gonna be this party or this party? It's something's gonna happen. What is it? I think it's a good way of building tension.
That. I agree, actually.
Especially the more recent episode, with so and so and so and so.
Yeah, I'm with you.
With the crossbow thing.
So as you know, one of
that was a big moment.
At the beginning, our very first podcast that we ever did. We did our 2014 year in review. We did our top whatever lists. And obviously, they're going to change over time as we sort of catch up on a lot of the things we missed.
Yeah.
And while I'm not going to reiterate a whole list, I'm going to say that I saw a movie recently, which is easily going to be my favorite or second favorite movie
of all time?
Of 2014.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie. It's a movie I knew for a long time I wanted to see, but for a while it was available on American Netflix and not Canadian Netflix.
Okay.
Right? And now I know I could have changed it and probably worked my way around it, but I was patient, and it came to Canadian
Exact
Netflix.
copyright.
And it was midway through the year. One of my favorite critics, Mark Kermode, does his like top movies of the year so far, and it was his number one at the time. It's a movie called Frank, with starring Michael Fassbender, and it's one of the best performances of his career. And I've loved all his performances that I've seen. And the interesting thing about it is he wears a mask on his head for the movie.
Oh, I heard about that.
You've seen the thing? Yeah.
I heard about that.
I never watched the movie, but I meant to watch it.
It's on Canadian Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it really that
It's
good?
like a music movie, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
not.
like it, will I?
Oh
about
my
music.
god. It's amazing.
If it's about music, then I've already got a hard on for it.
It's so much of like I definitely I like to think that I'm not like what I say about the Oscars, and that they have a real taste for biopics.
Yeah.
And that like I like to think that I don't have a definitive taste, but there really is a soft spot in my heart for stories of like a lot of coming of age stories, but like these sort of like dysfunctional characters.
Yeah.
Right? Like my favorite movie of all time is Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
You know, these sort of like people who are separate from the world, either one person or a group of people. And that's really what this movie is about. It's about a group of people who are distinct from all the other people around, and they've somehow found common ground in that distinction. And it's incredibly heartwarming, it's incredibly sad, and at some points it's uncomfortably funny. And what I mean by uncomfortably funny is it feels... It's the kind of humor...
You're gonna shit?
It's not telling you a joke, but it's the kind of thing you might laugh at uncomfortably if it happened to you in real life.
Yeah.
Like in real life, you might kind of give it like an awkward laugh. You're going to be laughing awkwardly at scenes of this movie.
That's cool. Something else on Canadian Netflix now, which I've been meaning to like watch, and I started watching it the other day, and then I had 1,000 other things to do, as I typically do. But The Big Lebowski is now on Canadian Netflix,
Yeah, it
and
is.
I'm super excited to watch it because John Goodman is my favorite actor. He is, I don't know, there's just something about, he just embodies like the coolest guy.
The
Kurt Russell in that?
It's either Kurt Russell or it's
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
It's Jeff Bridges, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jeff
okay.
Bridges, yeah.
And
Steve Buscemi.
he's awesome.
He's hilarious.
He was
Shelter 2's out.
but The Big Lebowski it's Coen Brothers film.
Yeah.
I really like the Coen Brothers. I think
They do Boondock, right?
Nope. No, they didn't do Boondock Saints. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Who did Boondock Saints?
Let's find out.
I'm sure it's the Coens.
It's not though.
Are they?
The Coen brothers?
No, the Coens brothers did like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and they did Inside Llewyn Davis. That's a great movie.
Okay.
Inside Llewyn Davis.
not a huge
Boondock
fan.
Saints was Troy Duffy,
Not a huge
Okay.
fan of this stuff.
who also did the other Boondock Saints movie and
was the-
Knight Rider.
The TV show?
No, a short. A short called Knight Rider, directed by Sam Macaroni.
Nice.
That sounds real.
Did it
It
have...
is, believe it or not. He's an actor in shorts, such famous ones as Wolverine at The Office and Spider-Man at The Office.
Did it have Passelpop in it?
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this Power Rangers short?
I have.
I've heard lots of things, but I
It's
haven't
so
seen it.
good.
I've heard that, yeah.
But at the same time, like,
Is it?
it's lacking.
Is it?
It's
It's dark, but the special effects are still like.
special effects are amazing for a little like machinima short.
yeah, I know it's. Well, it's not machinima,
But like that's whatever. Like
I know
same
it's a
idea.
short and all that, but it's still like. Something.
It
like,
left me
I don't know.
It left me wanting more.
To me, it seemed like a Dawson's Creek spinoff.
Well,
because that guy was in
James Vanderbeek or whatever,
like-
Vanderberg or whatever his name is.
Jeez, this is the first thing he's gotten since the 90s.
No, he was in How I Met Your Mother.
For how many episodes?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Who was
over the
James
course-
Vanderbeek
Wow.
in How I Met Your Mother?
Over
He
the course
is
of
the
as many seasons.
Canadian Robin's Canadian
Yes,
boyfriend.
he is.
Yeah, he puts on a fat suit and everything.
I
and
never
it's
noticed
hilarious.
that because he looks completely
Yeah,
different.
he does.
And
He's a
James Vanderbeek
bald-headed
is such a like
douchebag in it.
small
It's
looking guy.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But,
Oh, he's great in that too,
Yes,
isn't
he
he?
is.
Yeah,
Chick from Battlestar.
Katie Sackhoff. Yeah, she's really good. She's awesome.
Sad.
Oh yeah.
She's quite good in Riddick too.
What's her name in
Gene Riddick.
Yeah,
in Battle?
in Battlestar, she's Starbuck
Yeah,
or
okay.
Carrot
For
Race.
Battlestar.
I was like Star something.
Yeah.
Star Lord. No, but
the
Speaking of, just sorry to get off topic here. I just said Star-Lord, but they're making a Guardians of the Galaxy porno.
are they really?
Yeah.
About time.
Guess what? Guess what?
Is Anna Faris going to be in it?
I don't know, but guess what? Groot is
Chris Pratt should.
a giant wooden dildo.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking
What
of,
a terrible fucking
Andrew said
idea.
to discuss penis. So there you go. That was the
Okay.
penis portion
Well,
of the
there's
podcast.
my penis portion. Fucking Groot looking like
There's
a
your penis.
And we said
portion.
Andrew wasn't going to be on the podcast, but he ended up making a contribution after all.
Yep.
with his small dick.
Yep. Grass Simulator is now on Steam.
What?
Looks pretty
Wait,
terrible.
is paint? Oh my god!
It has
guys,
multiplayer.
Guys, before anybody else picks up this idea, this is being patented right here, right now. This is
That's
This is
copyright.
totally how
Patented
patents
words.
work.
Well, anyway, the idea, the copyright,
Canadian Bureau, listen up.
the idea
Write this down.
Yeah, watch this
paint
podcast.
drawing simulator. Paint drawing simulator is
Paint drawing simulator?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like watching paint
willing,
dry.
if you're willing to watch
Paint
grass grow-
drawing.
yes.
Oh, I thought you said drawing.
No, paint
That's
drawing
already a thing. That's called paint.
simulator, and we got that. That's ours.
There's sort of a paint drawing thing.
You shut
though.
your fucking mouth. This does not exist.
It does though.
It's going to be paint drawing simulator. It's going to be a spin-off of the goat simulator.
No, there's a.
Who the fuck comes up with the ideas for these games?
It's not. Well, it's not
And
really
why
a
are they
game.
multi-million-dollar games?
It's like an art. I forget the name of it. It's on Steam, and
pop.
I have it.
Fart pops.
Yeah, no, it's freaking. There's a software on Steam, and it's Outrage. It's called Outrage. I'm looking at it right here, and it's basically like
You
a
don't watch paint drawing.
digital canvas where you can. It's kind of like Photoshop.
So you
actually.
can watch paint dry, so it does what your game does and more.
Can you watch paint drawing?
Let me explain it. It's like Photoshop, but it's much more like painting on a canvas.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, you can. There's a setting in it where you can have the paint dry or never dry. And when you start like painting on like oil or something, eventually it will harden. And when you put more paint over it, it won't spread the way it did before. Or even with watercolor. Like if you let your watercolor dry and you put paint on top of it, then it makes it like double.
Sons of bitches took my fucking idea.
And there's like a glass of water you can dip your brush into to get rid of the paint. It's really cool.
That is kind of cool.
I got it on sale. It's $55 right now. But if you like paint and stuff,
That
check it
was
out.
Oh, you got it.
I do have
Oh,
it. yeah.
okay, cool, yeah.
How much did you get it for?
I think I got it
on
for
sale?
$20.
Okay.
That ain't bad at
Man,
all.
Definitely
I wish
worth
I had
it.
the money you guys got just to fucking throw away on all
If
this shit.
if you want
Holy
to,
fuck.
you can set Photoshop up to work like painting, but there's a lot of like you need to make your own brushes and there's a lot of sort of like prep into it. This is just like instantly use your tablet and paint stuff.
Okay.
So it's fun.
Cool.
Coming out on the 26th,
Yep. Of this month?
this month,
Okay.
is a game called Infinite Crisis. And so what it is,
Sounds like there's no resolve.
I don't like that.
You don't like the title? Neither do
Yeah,
I.
because it's like
The,
Bioshock Infinite and another game that already exists.
But it's not one of these like
Crisis
League of
is
Angels
fun as
thing
shit.
where it's clearly like copying off of League of Legends. Although interestingly, this is like
Oh, it's a DC game?
yeah, you could play. So it's League of Legends is a MOBA, right? Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. This is a MOBA with DC characters.
Isn't
really?
that already a thing?
No, there's like DC Universe Online and
Okay.
stuff.
Why are
and,
MOBAs
like,
a thing?
MOBAs are a thing. Well, I mean, part of it is the
Are they fun?
yes, they are fun, and part of it is the fact
Are
that you
they?
can is that oftentimes they can be enjoyable to spectate, which is sort of a rare niche tapped into by these sort of games, right? With the fact that they have like esports
And
potential.
Twitch, this whole Twitch thing.
Twitch,
yeah.
and Twitch is a big part of it, actually.
Yeah.
Twitch, in fact, might be the single biggest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just old or something. I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean. I think once you got into one, you would get it.
I think I'd enjoy watching people play like Farming Simulator than
Right, yeah.
Dota or something.
It feels that way sometimes.
Just because, like, in Farming Simulator, it's like, oh, they're watering the field. But in this, it's like, yeah, they're killing stuff, and there's a lot of shit flying all over the screen.
Once you understand what's happening, it becomes like they're both more and less complicated than people realize. In that they're much harder to get good at than people realize, but they're also much easier to understand. Like in 20 minutes, you can understand League of Legends.
How come there's no first-person MOBAs? Would it not work?
I guess it wouldn't work, yeah, because you have no map vision, right?
I guess.
although yeah, maybe you could probably find a way to make it
if it was
work.
like first person only.
Right, yeah.
Like, I think if you were able to switch back and forth, people would probably prefer third person, and that would probably be advantageous in MLG or something.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. And, but yeah, I'll be playing it. And,
wow, Harley Quinn is ugly on that.
And, I'll be playing it and talking about it,
yeah, it's pretty gross.
When the time comes, I'll be talking about it. It comes up the 26th. Yeah, as far as I know, it's free. I've downloaded the client and everything, and it hasn't mentioned anything but paying for anything yet.
Earn 6 free DC Legends. Sign up and play free. Play now.
And
well, not for free.
Apparently, you can play it now.
For free.
You can play it now.
Apparently.
Yeah, I'm not a very good critic. I didn't even know that. Like, I thought it was weird I could get so far with it. Yeah, I should probably start playing now.
I can play it now. It seems to be not out yet.
And
also, that hammer is unrealistically big.
I think it's like
Just saying.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes. See, a lot of the things with MOBAs is going to be that it's sort of like that service thing. If someone's already providing a really good service,
it's coming to Steam on the 26th.
Oh, okay. They're gonna have to do something really impressive to, like, I mean, on the one hand, I don't think you have to compete with League of Legends.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you still have to have a business model, which is going to get you some money, right? This still has to be a viable thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I'll be interested to see how it goes, but I'm excited. I've already picked a starting character.
Do you get to create your own character in it, or?
No, you pick, they have a lot of champions for you to pick from.
Or DC dudes.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things about it is, like, one of the things League of Legends does that's really good, they do these champion spotlights.
Yep.
So they do, like, a 7-minute video on, here's the champion, here's a way you could play them, here's what all their attacks do. And they're doing the same thing before it's even come out. That's smart. They're jumping on it right away.
That's cool.
How does Superman not win every single time?
You gotta wonder.
Superman sucks.
Like, I like these games where they have, all these characters, superheroes, in like a thing.
Yeah.
But then you get into the issue where you need to balance it for multiplayer.
Talk about balance here.
I think that's why Marvel is better than DC.
Do you have Aaron, can you bring up the Infinite Crisis website?
Yeah, I'm up there, yep.
Alright, can you go into the page for champions?
Yep.
So you're on the page for champions?
Yep.
Alright, scroll down to, it'll take a minute to load, but scroll down to basically the bottom.
Alright.
Then it'll load some more options and stuff until
at the bottom. We got Zatanna.
Yeah, exactly. Now go up 2 rows, you see Supergirl and Superman.
Yep.
Put your cursor over Supergirl and look at the stats that come up.
What?
Right? And now putting it over Superman.
Alright.
She has more stats.
No, they have the same attack and health, but she has no power, and he has, like, 2/3 power.
Oh,
you can check this out for yourself on the
well,
website
that's
if you want.
It's like, it doesn't even seem like it'd be close.
Why aren't all the bars maxed out for both of them?
And they're the same type of champion too. You'll see the roles are the exact same for each of them. It's just he's stronger and she's not.
She doesn't have any power at all.
Yeah, she has no power.
What's the point? What is her superpower then? I can fly. I have health.
She's a super girl.
All the other
My
champions,
superpower is health.
Particularly super nice.
All the other champions are modestly balanced, except her.
Holy crap, Star Sapphire. I've never heard of that, but apparently it's more powerful than Superman.
I don't know why, but like the Marvel universe just seemed a lot more accessible to me.
In a lot of ways it is, although
it's much more balanced.
I prefer the DC universe, personally.
The only thing I like about the DC universe is Batman.
Bingo! Yeah, but I love Batman enough.
But I don't think he can't outweigh everything that Marvel has.
The thing is, it's not just Batman. It's the Batman universe.
Yeah, no,
it's Batman, it's Catwoman, and it's Poison Ivy.
It's Joker.
Poison Ivy is more powerful than Superman.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be a universe-breaking game, to say the very least.
I don't know, man. There's just... I think X-Men, Spider-Man,
Also, Harley Quinn is on par with Superman's power. Which, as far as I'm aware, Harley Quinn has no superpowers. She's just an insane girl.
One of the things that
apparently being insane makes you more powerful than Superman.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Fucked up.
I always say, like, there's a really careful distinction to be drawn. don't think a game is going to be good just because it has things you can geek out on, but
Yeah.
absolutely get excited about a game that has things you can geek out on. Like, the Batman games, to me, are like, part of it is being a good game, but part of it is me just like, it's part of my Batman thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is cool. I get to look at these character bios. Like, I still
true enough,
nerd out about that, you know?
You could go there every day and talk to the calendar man.
Exactly,
He has something
yeah.
different to say.
Like, that kind of stuff is
Fucked up.
is fun, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
You go
love
there on
that.
Christmas and he tells you something. And
That's just the right amount of geek. You make a good game accessible for people who don't like the universe, but you put enough stuff in there that people who do like the universe to have a lot of fun.
I think they should balance them properly. You know, make Superman OP as fuck. But as you play the game and level up, have it so that like the more OP characters, I don't know, not that they like get locked out, but they become harder to play as. I don't know how you do it. I'm sort of thinking on the fly here.
Right,
But
yeah.
have some sort of system where like as you level up, you need, I don't know, I guess you need to spend credits or something to play as more OP characters. So the higher level you are, it's like, oh, I want to play Superman, but I got to spend a shitload of points to play as him for this one round.
Right,
so that it
yeah.
would sort of balance out, like newcomers to the game will get to play as OP characters and get to be able to compete against higher level characters, so that higher power character would sort of balance out with a higher level character.
I can see that, yeah.
You know, and then that way you would also have, you know, not Wonder Woman be more powerful than Superman. Because that's stupid
Well,
as fuck.
they were pretty close.
Were they?
Yeah.
All right, well, not have Harley Quinn be more powerful than Superman.
All she had to do was just whip off her top, and Superman is enabled because she had kryptonite nipples. Know what I'm saying?
Or Superman could whip out his dong because he had an invisible penis. We're unbiased here at Pixel Junkies.
Exactly.
Yeah, this
Superman,
is,
in fact, had a kryptonite dick. It was his biggest weakness.
couldn't touch it.
You couldn't touch it.
The Superman porno. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It's
It
gotta
has to
be
be
a
a
thing,
It's
yeah.
gotta be a thing.
After this many
Oh,
years
no.
of Superman being
My
around.
dick has been covered in kryptonite. Girl,
Let's
can
look it
you
up.
fix that?
Superman videos on xvideos.com.
You're actually, wait, dude, this isn't...
Not via school network.
I'm not on the campus network.
Oh, okay, I was like, what?
I'm on,
Can't go on that.
I'm on my phone router hotspot. Superman porn videos. Yep, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I figured.
Superman versus Spider-Man porn parody.
Superman versus Spider-Man?
Justice League porn superfuck.
Do you have to pay for the rights to use these? Like, why would, like,
I don't
DC
know
and
how that
Marvel-
works.
Well, Spider-Man isn't hyphenated, so
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh.
they can get away with
Is
it.
Superman hyphenated?
No.
Oh, well then.
DC might be up
Yeah,
their
I
crap
wonder
about
how
that.
that stuff works. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
like, there's this, like,
Pardon the pun.
just because, like, this is not going to be readily accessible to children, that there's not really that big a deal, and
It's
not,
accessible to children? Well, your children are typing or Googling Superman porno, then you're going to get what you
Yeah, okay. But the point of it is,
I want
like,
to see Superman.
I don't think a porn isn't taking money away from
Well, it's not
Marvel
as-
because Marvel's not going to make a porn.
No, but it's not
Understand what I'm
about
saying?
taking money away. It's about, like, just, like...
It's their
using-
intellectual property.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
intellectual
guess so.
property, yeah. And
But
also
guess what?
costume design.
Guess what? Spider-Man got a dick.
I don't think
Okay, what does that mean?
any he was with Emma Stone.
He got to use it.
But Superman or Spider-Man got the boot, so haha, Andrew Garfield. I don't know. I don't
Got the
think
reboot.
I don't think Marvel or DC would like make a big deal about it because then they would
Yeah.
have to come out in the news and say like
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel shutting down.
Yeah, what do they care, really?
Marvel shutting down a Spider-Man parody, a porn parody.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want that to be headlines, you know.
No,
I
exactly.
I get a kick out of the ones called like this ain't Home Alone or like this ain't the Big
they come up
Lebowski.
with
Like,
they come
this
up
ain't-
they come up with good porn parody names. Like
yeah.
That's disturbing. They have one for Home Alone.
I just made that up. I don't know.
they make like Homo Alone or something.
Homo Alone. This ain't Homo Alone. But no, it's very clever.
No, it's not.
It's so clever
it's-
that it's not.
It's like, I mean, it was probably a good idea to make the parodies, right? They have ones for like sitcoms and stuff like
Yeah,
that. That's
this
probably
ain't,
a really,
this ain't Seinfeld.
yeah, that's probably
this
a really
ain't
good
Glee.
idea. Yeah, like,
This ain't How I Met Your Mother. This is How I Met Your Father. I don't know.
So
Anyways, on that note, Jordan, what are you doing that the microphone keeps...
He keeps hitting the chair
Stop
off
doing
the
that,
table.
yeah.
Jordan, stop.
That's terrible, yeah.
Does that blast out the
Before
audio?
are we almost done?
Yeah.
All right, so before we end, at the end of How I Met Your Mother, fuck spoilers, don't care. Did the show, like, pan out and he was talking to kids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
Well, they knew he was talking to the kids the whole time.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering if they were going to end
But it
on
wasn't
that
Bob
note.
Saget, who was the voice of that. Anyways, quick note before we end. Jeremy Clarkson,
Oh, yeah,
Top Gear. You want to iterate
Did
the
I?
point?
Well, they reached 1 million signatures today, which is Friday, the 20th. And they brought the petition, the 1 million signatures, to get Clarkson back in the office, to the BBC in a tank with a dude dressed as the Stig, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if the BBC are even going to care, you know.
I didn't know it was Bob Saget.
Yeah.
I didn't know that till just now. That's crazy. Why was it Bob Saget? Why wasn't it,
It
just
was-
Josh Radnor?
Because Bob Saget has a wicked voice.
Sure, but
And he's
it's
the perfect dad.
Josh Radnor who's the
Yeah,
character.
I
Was that a
Weird.
prequel to Full House?
So they like
Shit, dude. This is a
seriously,
fucking
like-
Inception.
I don't know if you know. Have you seen the show,
Inception.
Aaron? Have you seen
a
the
few
show?
episodes.
This is
Yeah, so it's a
sitcom
guy. It's a guy telling his kids the story of how he. But apparently, the actor who plays the guy in the show is not the same as the narrator who's telling the story.
Stupid. Also,
Ew.
there's no way it could have been a prequel because there's like cell phones and all that shit. And
It's like Gotham, though.
Facebook.
It's,
Have you guys watched Gotham?
Yeah, I've seen like
They
the
have
first
cell
7
phones,
episodes.
but it's like 50s. That's what I like about it. Everybody's dressed
It's-
up
You
in
mean
a
it
suit.
makes no sense?
and-
Yeah, that's cool.
No, I like it.
Gotham
like that.
is.
Dark.
I liked it at the beginning, and then stopped liking it when it became a mafia show and not a show. Like, I liked the inherent quirkiness. I liked the cartooniness of the early episodes.
Yeah.
Where, like, they had weird, quirky bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, those kidnappers. They were weird and, like, appropriately quirky. And then it became just, like, a little too serious.
Well, I mean, what can you do with a show that is the prequel to everything?
Yeah. well,
Like,
there's-
where is this ever going to go?
it's hard to do. I'll give them that.
It doesn't
I don't
start
know.
until the series is
I'm giving
over.
them 10 out of 10.
The,
I really love this show.
I haven't seen since past the
Rate-
first 7 episodes.
Rate the
so,
latest
I mean,
Transformers movie on the same scale,
It wasn't a good movie. I watched it and enjoyed it, but it's not a good movie.
but on a scale
What scale?
out of 10
Well, like what scale? For what?
for the same level as Gotham. I'm
It
just
was
kind
like
of.
at 1.
They got a 1.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Never
Gotham's
mind then.
actually. I really like Gotham. I like the whole idea of Bruce Wayne. as
Great
a
Game
kid.
of Thrones
I
on the
think
same scale.
Jada Pinkett Smith is terrible as Fifth.
Yeah, but guess what? She's probably gonna die in the first season.
Do you know, like, that what accent is that? Like, can we bring up an audio? Can I bring up an audio clip?
Bring up
quickly?
an audio clip.
Yeah, okay.
Save me trouble when I edit this.
Yeah, but no, I think character development is great. The subtle hints they have. What else? Like I don't know. I like Jim Gordon as the guy who plays
All
Jim
right,
Gordon.
so viewers and listeners, please contribute to tell me what accent this is.
Tell Fish I'm here.
I still care for you deeply, but I don't believe that you still care for me anymore.
I care for you.
Then where's my money?
I get it.
Boy,
Sorry.
if you let this hair go frizzy, you will be.
That on the audio.
No, they can hear all of that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was checking the headphones the whole time.
That's direct in, is it? Or
What?
No, okay, never mind. I thought it was direct in.
I don't know, man. It's like New Jersey, Boston, California.
Yeah, okay.
This is
I'm just hoping she
Detroit.
dies in the first season.
She's
not.
and she's excruciating to watch through this
Yeah.
entire, like, the entire first 7 episodes. It's just like, oh god, why is this character?
Well, that-
she's not in the DC universe.
that's what I
They
don't
didn't need to put this character
No,
in.
I'll
Well,
agree
means
with
she's
you on
gonna be
that.
Killed. That's a
But I
guaranteed
think
killing.
everything else the show's got on the go is really good, and that's my issue. Like
There is a lot about the show that I really do like.
I love that atmosphere. That
Yeah.
atmosphere is so good.
I know we're supposed to end, and I'm going to be pulling my hair out because I have to edit this. But Speaking of shows that are on right now, Better Call Saul is getting really good.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been watching it?
Yeah.
It's getting really good. I think it's 6 episodes in now, I think.
Yeah.
Or 7 even, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's getting really good.
I just want them all out to be out now.
Yeah. I don't mind watching it week to week because, I mean, I wish they were all out so I could watch it, but...
I mean the whole show. I want to watch it all right now.
The entire series.
Yeah, like, I want to see where this is going.
Yeah, well,
That's
I mean,
my thing. Like, I was like, where it ends up, but I want to know how it gets there.
Yeah.
Same with Gotham.
Right, yeah.
That's my idea
I
on
can see
that.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think this more so because Gotham isn't really in a set universe.
Yeah, because
it
we
is,
don't know
but-
where this is going to go. We don't know what's...
Like what I'm saying is that
Yeah,
Breaking
fair
Bad is set in stone Better Call Saul's universe.
And also, I think
Batman,
it's
they
closer
could
in
change
time, whereas Gotham is way before, like, the Batman we're familiar with,
Yeah,
right? So a
true
lot of stuff can happen there.
So when did Breaking Bad start? 2000...
I was in grade 12. No, I was in grade 11. So it would be 2009, I think. Well, like, I was in grade 11 when I first started hearing about it, and I was in grade 11 in the year of 2009.
So I don't know if they're like...
Or 2008 to 2009.
Sort of on the safe side of how many
time
seasons
ago.
they're going to get? Because the show starts in 2002.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
maybe they're hoping... Well, they max out at a certain point,
7
you
or 8
figure.
seasons,
But also,
I guess.
yes, Saul didn't appear in the first season of Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
He didn't appear till, like,
so
season...
there's some overlap.
Yeah, exactly,
There
yeah.
is.
So there's some room there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun show, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. He used to be a cop. He's the badass fella, the old fella.
The old...
The guy who's the parking meter attendant.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of a spoiler, though.
What's his name?
Yeah, but his name is kind of a spoiler.
It's the second episode.
Yeah, but... I don't know. Well, I guess if you don't want spoilers for Better Call Saul, then plug your ears. His name is Mike.
Yeah, that's all I want to know.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. I like his
He's a
character.
cool guy.
I love his character. He's one of my favorite characters on a TV show.
He's in the... I think he's in the first episode. Isn't he?
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
in the first episode. He's actually in the commercial for the first episode.
Oh, okay.
So, like, he's,
There are a couple of sort of guest appearances on the show. And they sort of, recur throughout. I imagine it'll be a thing, as the show
Yeah.
goes on. You'll probably get some, like, Breaking Bad main cast on there. I assume Bryan Cranston's going to show up at some point.
just for a laugh, like going to a car wash or something.
Well, they'll probably be, like, later on in the
Yeah.
series,
But something.
But,
Anything.
anyway,
We're going to close up the show now. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And,
you next week.
Yeah, join us next Monday, and we'll have another
tomorrow
episode for you.
for an episode of Mirror's Edge.
Joyeux Noël.
Yes.